Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing something different today. But today we're going to be doing a Battle Cats tier list. Now if this series does do well, I will make sure to post more of these in the future. So if you want more of these in the future, make sure to smash those like and subscribe buttons. Anyways, let's get started. As you know, here we have the basic cats. The first cats you achieve in the game, probably, and the most cats you'll probably lose throughout your journey in Empire of Cats. Now, as you know, we have 30 units. Actually, no, Super Feline isn't included, but this will be a tier list that's mainly centered around Empire of Cats, so you don't really have to worry about, like, we're not going to be factoring, like, very units of, like, viable in the end game at, like, 100, level 110, so don't worry about that stuff. Anyway, so, as you see, we have 3 different forms. The white form, we're going to say they're level 1. This form is mostly level 2, I believe, and the true forms are, the second forms are going to be level 10, and the true forms are going to be level 30. Okay, so let's start with the first cat you unlock in the game, the basic cat. Now, the basic cat is honestly a pretty good unit, and at level 1, if you're starting off the game, it's basically the only unit you really have. So I'm going to put him in A tier, since he's basically the only really unit you have. And yeah, really, he's pretty useful, since you can't really beat the game without him. Next up is Tank Cat. I'm going to put him in A tier as long as he's not as good as his other forms, as his forms do increase his HP, but most of them are pretty good. Axe Cat, honestly, he's not that bad in the beginning, so I'll put him in C tier, since he can be somewhat viable in the beginning, in the early stages of Empire Cats, but after that, he's pretty much useless besides a meat shield. Gross Cat, we're putting this guy in S tier, because this guy has a very powerful long-range attack that can do good damage to a majority of enemies in the game. And since an Empire Cats outranging enemies isn't the name of the game, he can outrange many enemies, making him very useful. Cowcat, we're putting him in B tier. Now, this guy is alright for treasure finding, but if you've watched my series, he's not that good, and I think Ninja Cat's better for his overall role than when he plays, but he can be decent for treasure grinding early on before you get Ninja Cat, I suppose. But at level 1, he's pretty useless. Bird Cat, I'm putting this guy in C tier as well, since I think he's okay, but he could be better. His low range doesn't make him too good, but he does have high area attack damage, so the fact you have to protect him to make him pretty niche this early in the game, especially at level 1 where his damage and HP isn't too great. Fish Cat, level 1, we're putting him in B tier, since he does have okay damage and HP, but at level 1 his stats aren't really viable, so yeah. Lizard Cat, okay, we're putting this guy in S tier too, and even at level 1 they're still very viable, since in the early stages of Empire of Cats, enemies don't take that much to kill. 10 Cats, we're putting this guy also in B tier. B tier, he's okay, but while leveling up, he's not that good. With more levels, he will get better. Okay, next we have Macho Legs. Macho Cat we're also going to be placing in A tier, since he is still a pretty good meat shield at this early on in the game. He is pretty good, yeah. Okay, let's see. Next up we have Wallcat. Wallcat is definitely going up in S tier, since even though he doesn't get that many stat performance upgrades in his normal form, he does gain more levels, and his HP will increase him, so he can take more hits better than he used to. Okay, Brave Cat, we're putting this guy in C tier, since I don't think the stat improvements he gains upon getting to level 10 isn't that significant to a point where he's better. He still doesn't really do much other than that. Okay, so Legs Cat, we're putting this guy in S tier as well, since he still does very good solid damage per hit, and yeah. Okay, he gets a bit better. However, I'm putting in the lowest A tier, since it's no real order here. We're also putting in B tier too. While his performance does jump a bit, he still is pretty niche for what his abilities do, and he's not really a good general unit for what you do. UFO Cat, this guy I think goes into B tier, since he does better HP, and with let him survive some weaker enemies, which does help. Well, California's got an A tier, since he can at this point he does have decent stats, which help him take some basic hits from enemies, and yet let let him do some good damage. Level 10, we're putting this guy in the top of S tier since this guy is honestly really good. He can definitely do some very solid damage to a majority of units. And definitely has very good damage, especially against the teacher bear, which I personally had some trouble with on the main account and on my save on this computer. Titan Cat, okay, he jumps a bit in viability as well. I think he goes into I personally would say is on A tier, but some people, it could be debatable whether he goes on the S tier or not, since I personally don't think that the elephant isn't too much of a trouble, but he definitely goes in S tier depending on how much you hate on elephants. Next up, we got true forms. Now, these true forms are going to be weighted, assuming it's going to be, later on, since we're not probably getting these in Empire of Cats, so we're going to move on to, late into the future stuff. Anyways, okay, so Macho Cat, this is a bit debatable, but I think he goes, I think he jumps into B tier, since, at this point in the game, you're really starting to hit some more heavy-hitting enemies, which don't really do much for him, but, so, yeah, I'm putting him in B tier. This is, I think, I would say the majority of people will get him around, maybe into the future, and you have other units by then, but at this point in the game, you probably don't need him. Race the Cat, we're putting him in SS tier, because at this point in the game, that 11k HP, depending on how much he's boost, definitely helps out a lot. Honestly, gets a vast majority of the enemies in story mode, as well as SSL. Dark Cat, this guy, we're putting him in D tier, since at this point he's pretty much useless. Unlike his other two forms, we could have had some small viability in Empire of Cats as a meat shield. This guy's completely useless at this point in the game. Okay, this guy also, I know this is debatable, but I'm putting this guy in SS tier because he plays a massive role into the future as against alien enemies. He also gets some nice doubles his stats, which also gives him very good HP. Also, has good roll, honestly. Still use this guy even in the late game. Lion Cat, okay. I'm putting this guy in C tier since he doesn't really gain that much viability in general, but I think he at this point in the game you won't really have many stages to rush as long as you're doing stages, but I'll keep him in C tier. Flying Cat, honestly, he's okay, but his niche sucks as a unit, so I was really in B tier. I guess he could be useful. Actually, no, we're putting him in C tier because at the time you'll probably have some more viable attackers like Cameraman, Paris, like that. Okay, Island Cat, we're putting this guy in S tier because the amount of damage this guy brings to the table is pretty enormous, especially can help out a lot against red enemies. Dragon Cat, this guy, I'm debating on A and S tier. I think I'll put him in A tier since his viability drops slightly. But I think he's fair enough to the point where he can still be used kind of a lot. But if they double the stats, he'd probably go in SS tier since, he has some good damage. Jameer Cat, I'll put him in B tier since, we're not talking late game, so yeah, not too bad, but it's not too good either. And yeah, that's the whole tier list. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. This one's a bit different, but if this get a good amount of views, we'll definitely make some more of these in the future. Anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. ProdigyRex, out.